Let's get started. It is exactly 11:05 for the benefit of our three guests. And for those who maybe haven't been here in a while, this is the Trusted Referral Network. We, as it says right here, there in my virtual background. We are a group of about 175 marketing services providers who get together weekly, alternating between Wednesday mornings today, at least Wednesday morning Eastern time at 11, and Tuesday afternoons, 5 p.m. Eastern, the alternate week. And we also have a directory website. The idea is to help each other collaborate, connect, make referrals, and educate one another. And to that end, at each of these meetings, we try to have a member do a showcase. Ronald Hubsher, who's here today, did one last week on sales negotiations, and was very engaging, as he is and will be. And Mark Herre is going to follow in his footsteps with is equally engaging, although I'm sure different. Presentation today on the dirty little secrets of SEO. I think that's what it was entitled. I may have added the dirty. Dirty little. But he's going to take it away and tell us what we don't already know, or maybe some things we do know about SEO. You have the presentation. You have access to the presentation to present. I'm going to give you, with my timer on, 15. And do you want me to give you a warning at 5? Or do you want to just take questions live? Or do you want people to put questions in the chat?
Just cut me off. Pretty much.
At 5 minutes left?
Yeah, we'll just have a discussion, hopefully.
Okay. All right, absolutely. So, and then after that, of course, we go around and do our regular 2 to 3 minutes of introductions, who you are, what you do, how you can help out, what you're looking for, and if you anything in particular that will help people remember who you are. Also, besides putting in the chat questions from Mark, if you'd put your LinkedIn, I'll encourage everybody at the end to save that LinkedIn chat. Save the chat so that they capture all of the LinkedIn and any other information that might have been entered into the chat. So, Mark, please take it away.
All right.
Or if everybody else would go on mute, that would be great. Thank you.
Well, hello, I'm sharing my screen, and I'm going to enter in the chat some information about me on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect. A little bit about what I just posted in the chat. It says that I offer performance-based rank delivery services for digital marketing gurus. So if you have a long beard and you are hiking the Himalayas and you consider yourself a guru, I'd love to engage with you. I do white label SEO services. And what that just simply means is that I work under the label of other digital marketing agencies that are hiring me as a vendor. The vendor purpose is just being able to be a provider of a service I coined, 17 years ago when I went all in with white label. It's called performance-based SEO, no rank, no pay. And that model served SEO Game pretty well. Out of the 26 years I've been in business, it's kept what I think Rajiv would appreciate this, since he's all into culture, branding, and company culture when it comes to your brand. My brand is, knock on wood, stayed squeaky clean now for this long time period of being in business in the SEO field. And that alone is an amazing feat, to not have anything ever negative, ever say anything about my company, my employees, my family members, all the people that are involved, doing great work on livelihoods. We do work for, websites. We work on websites that deserve to be on the first page of Google. We do it in a time fashion of 30 days, unheard of. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the sausage making. And the purpose of my business is that I can be a source. You can find an SEO company that could serve your digital marketing company or those that you know, and you find a good find in SEO Game, and one that won't, ever mess up your reputation or have anything come back to bite you, and you can enjoy working with your vendor because your vendor is getting the job done for the sole purpose of why you hired that person in the first place, and that is to get the job done in SEO. And SEO, if you can take a look at my screen, we can just go right into some of the problems SEO companies fix. And I think we're all, mature enough in this group that I bet you if we sat down and we were at the table and we were having some lunch, and we could just ask this question: what problems do SEO companies fix? How many people are on the call right now? There's about 5 or 10?
No, about 13 or 14.
13? Thank you, Michael. I think we would get all 13 different answers if this question were to be asked. What problems do SEO companies fix? Many of the answers I do hear when I ask that question, and let me see if this just resonates with you guys. I hear SEO companies fix the checklist that they're accustomed to doing. They do what every SEO company might have, a different list of checklists or a different order of the way that they do things. And I agree. That's probably what I do too, as well. I go through a checklist, but to the client that we serve, I think all of us have recognized a client or a potential colleague who owns a website, somebody that we know. To them, who don't understand all the sausage making and the things that we have to do to improve a website's visibility on the first page of Google, to the client, the definition of what an SEO company does and fixes is completely different than what we think it is as digital marketers. And I'm going to explain that. Possibly, I'm trying to go, oh, there it is. I just mentioned that SEO companies may go through a focus on their own checklist. None of this matters to the client. They don't care about these little things. And just let's wonk out on a few. I'll just name a few. Has a client ever asked me, hey, so when you get started, are you going to check the robots meta tags for us and make sure they're all up and up on the, no one ever asks. Do our clients who hire us to get their website on the first page of Google ever say, oh, Mark, I got a website and I need a clear and concise metadata outline in an audit, and I need that to be reported so I could get to the board and get to the fractional CMO and make sure everybody's on the up and up? No. So these things are all things that we as SEO companies do, but the client never wants to hear it, never brings it up, or never talks about it. Then why do us SEO companies, when we get a client and we have the floor and we're talking, why do we then go ahead and just throw up all over our clients and talk about sausage making? But we do. We literally do. And so I realized that when I started offering this white label SEO service for SEO companies, I have seen bad habits in SEO companies just talking about all their things that they do for their clients. And I go, do they really want to hear? And they would say, and come back to me and give me feedback and say, you know what, Mark, I don't really care what my client wants to know. I just want them to know that I know what I'm doing. I'm like, oh my goodness. So if we were to go back to that one question, what problems do SEO companies fix? Who has the exact answer? There isn't an exact answer, by the way, of what SEO companies fix according to the owner of the website. Let's just get an idea. What do you think the owner of a website thinks that the SEO company is going to fix? Any suggestions?
Visibility on Google.
Number one in my search that clients perform.
Now, you guys have all spoken to me, so I've probably given you some good insights already. You guys are right on, 100%. But there's one more little thing. If you could add that, if you could just add to that sentence, just
I would propose that it's a step beyond that. If I show up on the first page, even number one, if they don't click on it, it's irrelevant. So I want traffic to my site.
Okay, and that's of course that's a no-brainer. They all want traffic to their website. They all want more sales. They all want more branding. They all want more leads. They want more subscriptions to their newsletter, right? However, what the problems that an SEO company fix I'm going to name some red-blooded, red meat-eating type of clients that you might all be familiar of, okay? And let's just see what I've had conversations with these guys, and they're chomping at the bit to do one thing. And I really appreciate Keith and Rajiv's answer, and that is they just say, Mark, can you get me there? That's really what it all boils down to. The term SEO doesn't mean when the company who owns the website and the decision makers and the CMO and the people who are in charge of that website's visibility and to get the sales and get the subscriptions to the newsletter and everything, when they hire the SEO to fix the problem, they're not saying, I need SEO. Give me all the technical checklists that you're going to offer. They're asking for one thing. It says, I don't want SEO. I don't want to talk about these checklists, fixing the implement of structured data and all this other stuff. They're asking for one thing. They're asking, can you get me there? Which is an amazing thing. Why do we call it SEO? It should be called GMT, is what I kind of wish we could change the acronym to, because digital marketers who I talk to in SEO companies, they don't even bring that up to their client at all. They don't say, hey, listen, client, I understand what you exactly want. I want you to understand that I will get you there. And let's just take an example of a few clients. The dentist, the auto injury chiropractor, the personal injury lawyer, the SaaS company that has a very national competitive software as a service type of a model that they know what keywords they want to be number one for. The software company, the e-commerce company, the national company, the regional company, the state company, the company that's just trying to get on the first page.
5 more minutes, Mark.
Okay, so that is kind of just the only thing. I just want to create a mindset for people that is really, when you talk to somebody who has a website, that is all they care about. Can you explain that and give us confidence that you can get us to the top? The auto injury chiropractor wants to be number one for San Antonio auto injury chiropractor because they have a gym inside their building that like outbids Vasa and Planet Fitness. They're big. They want to be number one. The dental implant dentist wants the $20,000 client for dental implants. They don't want the $89.95 teeth whitening client, unless that's all they do, right? But the most dental implant dentists, they eat, drink, and sleep being number one for that word dental implant. And it's a job of the SEO company to perform and make that happen. So again, what problems do the SEO company solve? Poor rank delivery for the top keywords of a website. And number two, the website's just not popping on the page of Google for their top keywords. Notice none of these two definitions have the word SEO in it. If you were to ever try and sell SEO, you do not ever use the word SEO in your conversation. That will bring up, as we have 13 people in this group, that will bring up 13 different reasons why you need to hire us. And that will cause confusion, stress, anxiety, and a whole bunch more. At SEO Game, what we do, and I'll leave it, this is my last few slides. This is just a snapshot of my dashboard. I did in October 10 of all the websites I added, and we got started on a 30-day trial. And this is just in October 10. And then it goes, I skipped a couple to get down to September. And notice now some of the rankings are green arrows, and we don't have time to go into each one of these accounts, but I handle a lot of volume in websites. Already just after less than 2 weeks, websites are starting to improve, and the rankings just get better and better and better until roughly 30 days of the service that I offer. This is just some of the proof of the pudding of a 30-day trial of these clients that hired us for the purpose of getting them to the first page of Google and all their top keywords, trophy keywords. And they just get better and better and better. So if anyone wants to meet with me, because I'm a performance-based SEO, I have surrounded myself with performance marketers, performance ad marketing with, Google ad setups, lead generation performance marketers. I've surrounded myself with guys like Rajiv who help in performance and getting reviews knocked off. I focus on performers who focus on website development.
Mark, do you want to take, there's 2 questions. Do you want to take the 2 questions? You have only a minute.
And so that's what let's take some of the questions. So
Ari says, can you show results after 6 or 12 months?
Well, we show it in 30 days because any project that we do is always under that first 30 days. 6 months, we love working with clients, and that way we can show full domination, right? We want them to stick around. So I hope that answers your question. Another question is, what? Go ahead.
How much of, that's my question, is how much of your work is site optimization versus backlinks and performance like speed optimization?
Sure. Every SEO company does the same thing. They focus on site optimization and offsite. And so it just depends on the website. We don't even usually get started for 45 days afterwards with offsite. It's mostly fixing on-site. The key, though, that has recently changed is the site auditor in the search console. That has been a game changer for the last 3 years, where with the front-end developer, all you have to do is fix that grade. And you can't get it all the time an A+ in 30 days. It takes 10 days just to get it improved. We do incremental improves in the site auditor, and GT metrics are the other thing.
Geoff Swartz, I'm sorry, Geoff Swartz had a question just before Rajiv's, and that is, what are your typical price ranges?
Price ranges are always and have been around $300 a month per website. So that's that's once the expectations are met, which is very.
And how many keywords does that include?
Keywords could be up to 50. I've started keywords at 80. It just depends on the top keyword. We always identify the top keywords the client approves, and we always get started with whatever empirical evidence that exists on that website. Empirical data proves to us that we know which top keywords are getting searched the most. So every website begins with keyword audit.
Very cool. We'll take one last question if there is one. And John Parsons raises his hand.
Yeah.
John.
Okay. Mark, in August, Google released what's being called the helpful content update.
Yeah, I heard about that. Lots.
And I'm sending a link to an article about it. I just wonder if you could speak to any of that, of what Google is doing to have content be answering questions that people ask, as opposed to, or as contrasted with, the right algorithm to gain. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but a lot of SEO companies try to game the system and get to the top of the mountain with technology, as opposed to what Google claims to be doing now with this update.
The update is strictly on a zero. It's a Q&A that goes above the rankings, and it's not a service that I have to offer. So I don't act like I know what I'm doing. It's a snippets code issue. So
okay. So if somebody is, so if a business were to approach this from a holistic view of content, having a source of content that's desirable, that answers people's questions in a meaningful way, is that something that SEO can come alongside and help with, so that they get a better, so there's a better shot at getting your site be the answer to the question.
Yeah, it's an answer to the question above the ranking. So you have usually a free pack and then below the rankings. Those are what I focus on. This is a snippet that's above the rankings in Q&A, and it's a totally different ball game. It's in programming and it's in snippets code. So it's not something that I focus on. I do have a technical team that can address those questions when they come up, but it isn't a ranking issue. It's a zero ranking. Does that? It's a subject for another discussion.
It is.
We should probably cut it off here. I know there's lots of questions about SEO. It's a hot topic, and thank you, Mark, for sharing a little bit about the sausage making and where your skills lie. I have put in the chat the order in which people showed up, more or less. If you don't see your name in the chat, let me know. That means I don't have you down for some reason. We'll do 2 minutes if everybody but the speaker would go on mute. And we're going to start with Geoff Strauss, then Daniel, who's a guest, and Dave Anderson. Daniel, you'll see how it goes. It's pretty straightforward. I'm sure you've done this before. So take it away, Geoff Strauss. I'll put you on 2 minutes and I'll wave my phone. You'll probably hear it as well. Go for it.
All right. Thanks, Michael. Great to be here. Happy, was it Wednesday now? Wednesday? Yep. I'm here in Chicago. Business is called Just Case Studies. We help businesses to tell their customer success stories in a way that will build trust so that you can acquire more clients. Right now, one of my big projects is I am working on the book on case studies, which will be out in December. So I am looking for speaking opportunities to talk about the book. I'm looking for stages. I'm looking for anyone who is interested in the book. If you want to get onto the mailing list for the book, I'd be happy to put you on to get more information about the book. So yeah, those are kind of the big things going on right now.
Very cool. And you also have a video component, right? That can feed into testimonials.
That's right. Yep. We do both the kind of the traditional written case studies, and then we also do a video version where we actually interact and interview your customer who is the subject of the case study, so that they'll actually be in the video talking about how great you are and how much better their business is because they worked with you.
And that, with the magic of editing, will make you look like a superstar.
Exactly.
Right. Cool. Anything else? Anything you want to add that will help people remember besides the fact that you just do case studies?
Nope, just case studies, and the book is going to be called The Book on Case Studies.
So we will soon be able to say that Geoff is the man who wrote the book on case studies.
Exactly.
What's that book about?
It is about the summer I spent in Europe.
Very cool.
Strangely enough.
Daniel Tappan, you're up.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Great to be here with all of you guys. I'm coming in from a company called Lead Roll. I run the sales and business development side of things. Actually got introduced to Michael through one of his colleagues, Chad. I don't know if Chad's here today. Doesn't look like it. So essentially a quick background. I suppose I really wanted to be an entrepreneur early on. Back when I was like 17, started my own physical fitness and swimming consulting and training programs, and all of that spooled up into business consulting. And I really enjoy helping other people succeed with their dreams. Really like what I'm hearing today. In fact, might need to have a conversation with a couple of you guys, Mark especially. I think I've got somebody I'd like to throw your way. I love helping folks like yourself succeed and really build their business. Have a passion for process improvement, systems management, particularly from a sales and marketing perspective. Lead Roll itself, quick background on what I do. We're on the surface, we're an outbound marketing agency. We do email, cold calling, LinkedIn, all that fun stuff. to really pack our clients' calendars with qualified opportunity. You tell us exactly who it is you want to work with, the kind of people you want to talk to, and we make it happen. Deeper than that, though, we are a tech company, and we're the guys who have all the data, and we've got some really cool tech. I'd probably need my own 15-minute segment to go into everything that we're doing there. But without, info dumping and really on all the features and benefits, we work on resolving the identity of website visitors. So someone like Mark would help drive crazy traffic, get your clients on the first page of Google, and LeadRoll can then turn around and tell you by name who it is that's visiting your website with full contact information, cell phone, emails, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So
and
is that my 2 minutes?
Yeah, that's your 2 minutes. And thank you. If you read my newsletter, I was inspired by my call with Daniel and did a little blurb in my newsletter on identity resolution, identifying people who come to your website. And Daniel, of course, if you become a member, you will have that 15-minute opportunity that Mark just had.
Awesome.
Dave Anderson, take it away.
Thanks, Michael. So good to see everybody. I'm Dave Anderson. I do custom B2B growth strategy. I help companies find the marketing mix through testing new marketing channels, including digital platforms. I also do the campaign execution. I help companies find the right metrics and to measure and do marketing attribution, often in an early startup situation, so that they can measure performance. I serve mostly B2B software companies, although I can work with other types of B2B brands as well. Some of the software spaces I'm working in include collaboration software and health tech. And the types of people I'm looking to meet are, marketing colleagues like yourselves, founders and senior marketers in tech companies. What I can offer is I can offer any companies that you're working with, if they qualify, a growth marketing assessment that would provide quick wins for how they can grow faster and more efficiently. And then also for the folks in this network, I do offer a 10% referral for new projects. My average project tends to be about $20,000. I'll post my contact info to the chat.
Very cool. And Dave is broadcasting from solitary confinement in Rikers.
Right. Yeah, the state will take all the proceeds from my projects, but they do let me pay you a commission. So I like it. And it looks like you got some soundproofing on the side there. That's right. The fur on the walls there, or the rugs on the walls? Very cool. Yeah, this is the Zoom room here at my co-working space, and yes, they have nice shag rugs on the walls.
Very cool. All right, thank you so much, Dave. Good timing too. Next up is Tom Clark.
All right, how's it going, everybody? Thanks for inviting me here, Michael. Definitely an awesome group of people so far, so definitely looking forward to connecting with more of you. My name's Thomas. My company that I started is called Lasso Creative. We specialize in creative content creation for businesses. So that's things like video, photo production. We are here in Morristown, New Jersey. So do a lot of regional work, although we do have clients throughout the US and even internationally. So that's cool. What we do is we help businesses kind of, number one is coming up with a good strategy and implementation of their content. And then we do the full production of that content. So that's, high-end photo, video content, whether it's going on location, whatever we need to do is, we're pretty much doing every step of the way from production, pre-production, post-production, and editing. And then we'll work with the marketing teams to kind of help with the strategy of that all. So that being said, I do work direct to client, or I also work under marketing agencies, advertising agencies, web developers, etc. So those are always great referral partners for me. And yeah, that's it. So Thomas from Lasso.
Thank you very much. And Thomas are actually meeting face-to-face this afternoon because I have an appointment out in Morristown. So I will see you this afternoon. Very cool. John Parsons, all the way out in Washington State.
Yep. Thanks, Michael. It's hard to follow you, Thomas, because we're in the video business as well. But we tried to solve a couple of problems for small to medium businesses. We prefer to work through agencies, but we have worked direct with clients, of course. And the two problems that we saw going into this were affordability of video capture and the problem of interactivity. Everybody thinks video is just a passive view experience, which it often is. But every platform that I know has some kind of interactivity at the end, some kind of call to action button or something. It's always platform dependent. And so the platforms are usually the stopper for small to medium business. They can't afford $300 to $400 to license a platform that's really designed for like an education platform where you have tuition paying students bearing the cost of licensing that platform. So we're working on for cost of capture, we license a technology that lets you capture more video remotely without us sending out a team. So we utilize their clients' webcams and devices to capture the video locally and then upload it. But the interactive part we're still working on is to try to offer to small to medium businesses a platform-free interactivity, so that you can have that customer journey. If I'm selling bikes, I have urban bikes, I have kids bikes, I have e-bikes. So if you want to choose the video that describes that and gives you a gallery of those bikes, you can walk through a series of short videos that meets your needs, that you have more autonomy as a viewer to click the button that says, I want to see this, to do chaining videos without having to license a platform. That's what we're working on right now.
Very cool. And when do you expect that to be available?
We have some prototypes that we're working on, and Michael, when I'm ready, I'd love to be able to show the group what that means, and do a showcase.
Absolutely.
We have working models now, and we're on the verge of having something we can show.
Absolutely. Sign up. You could sign up a few weeks out if you want to give yourself a little bit of time. Also, we'll give you a incentive to actually meet your deadline.
I'll tell that to my ready crew. They really need more pressure. Actually, that's great. Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Keith Reynolds.
Hey, I remembered to take myself off of mute. I'm Keith Reynolds. How many of you work for clients that don't have a strategy? They're talking to you about tactics and they have no strategy. Well, I'm a fractional CMO, and I've been producing websites starting since 1995, and about 12 years ago, I did a website for a startup. We were in the radiological security space. I was head of business development. We ran out of the ability to raise capital in 2008, and I started a blog. And in less than a year, I was asked to testify to Congress about radiological security. So because I'm a marketing guy, I assembled a team, and we put together that testimony and presented it to Congress, which led me to the office in Washington, D.C. that we needed to connect with, and they connected us to the person out at Sandia National Laboratory so that we could present our solution, and they acquired one of our systems. So that chain of events got me from who we are, what we do, buy my stuff websites, to the idea of a content hub. And let me just very quickly, about 7 years ago, I started public speaking about the 7 elements of a successful content strategy. And so this I'm dropping in the into the chat. I know I have very little time. I won't go through them all, but about 3-4 months before the pandemic, I wrote a book about content strategy. And now I have a company called Publio. We provide fractional CMO services with content strategy, meetings and executive events and roundtables, and optimizing your marketing automation and CRM to get results. And that's what I do. And I'd love to talk to you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you, John.
Oh, he got the book. All right. And he probably read it too. John actually reads stuff. People who write books tend to
another mother.
I also write books. That's my other job.
Yeah,
that's right. And people who write books tend to read them too. Okay, Keith Reynolds. That was Rajiv. You're up.
Awesome. It's great that I'm going after Keith, because what I have to say is very related to what Keith just said. So Keith just talked about strategy, and what I'm talking about today is strategy. So me and my business partner, Lynn Donaldson, we created a next generation strategy builder and strategy visualizer called Lily Launch Tools. In fact, if I can show you real quick, because rather than explaining it to you, it might sound kind of abstract. I'd much rather just show it to you in 2 seconds. So this is basically the interactive strategy builder, but that allows you to put in your goal, put in your objective, enter your strategy that goes to that objective, enter your tactic, enter your key activities. And the benefit of this is that you can see the hierarchy of whatever key activities you're doing. What tactic does it ladder up to? What strategy does it ladder up to? What objective does it meet? And what overarching goal is it achieving? So this allows you to visualize your strategy, which is super helpful when you're talking to VCs or angels or potential partners or people like that. But more than this, you can also visualize the strategy in this Kanban chart. And the tool does this dynamically. It lists a quick status of the things at hand, what started, not started, etc. And you can also view timelines as well in this interactive Gantt chart, which allows you to view things in any level of detail that you like, whether you want to look at the day view, week view, or month view. And this is something that you can download by clicking the download button over here or taking a screenshot and put it in your deck. And your key stakeholders know where things are at. So we have an ongoing webinar series that I put the link in the chat. We're offering complimentary strategy consultation sessions in a limited degree to people that attend our webinars. So if you'd like a complimentary strategy session, please consider attending our webinar, and also please share it with anyone who can benefit. Thank you.
Thank you. And I know that it's called Lily Launch Tools because it's originally conceived for the launch of pharmaceutical and medical device products, which is what Lynn specializes in through her company, Connect Day. Okay, Rajiv, now it's
strategies. Just Rajiv, I like the segue from me to you, and the interesting thing is that's very focused on strategy implementation, whereas I'm strategy concept, the design of strategy. So
yeah, and this allows you to build your strategy in it. That's my point. So once you develop the strategy, they can then visualize it in here. That's my point.
Yeah. No, it's great.
Ron Hubsher. I'm going to have to cut off the discussion. Ron Hubsher is next. Ron, are you with us?
Yes, right there. I was on mute. Great to see everybody, and always great to follow Rajiv. You always bring such good positive energy, as does everybody. And Michael and Rajiv are awesome. So, and everybody's awesome. So, have you ever been working on a deal and you wake up like it's 3 a.m, you're sweating and you're aggravated because the client's pushing you for a discount, and you're like, oh man, I want to get paid what I'm worth. I don't want to lose a deal. I don't know whether to push back hard on them. Do I just cave and just sort of eat it? Do I take some kind of half measure and end up maybe better off, maybe in a worse place? So if you're ever woken up and just been frustrated and aggravated in the middle of the night, we make sure that never happens to you again. And the way we do it is we have our closing time sales negotiation training program, and we work with companies from very biggest companies like Google, Oracle, Workday, mostly in the SaaS space, but also non-SaaS. And that's what we do. So how many people could relate to that, by the way? Just a quick show of hands. Excellent. And by the way, you guys can download my book complimentary. It's on our website, Sales OG, as an original gangster. If you go to the book page, you can download. It's about 85 pages. You can get a PDF or Kindle version or iPad version.
Okay, cool. And if you want to see more about what Ron does, if you review on our website, his presentation, not on the website, on our YouTube channel, his presentation last week. He gave more details about exactly what he does. And Ron and I went to business school together and also worked at Booz Allen and Hamilton together, which no longer exists. Actually, it's part of PwC.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's awesome. Ron, would you mind posting those links in the chat for us?
Yeah, sure. No worries at all.
Thank you.
Go to my website and do that.
Geoff Strauss.
Thanks, Michael. I'm Geoff Swartz, founder and CEO of Ethic Advertising Agency out of Pittsburgh. We do hyper-targeted digital advertising and creative that goes along with it. But honestly, Geoff Strauss's comment of like, hey, let me get this book out there. I'm going to talk about something different than my company. We just had a stellar year, and I'd figure let's talk about something that maybe helps out you all a little bit more. dailyadbrief.com a few months ago asked me to become a host on one of their podcasts, and I did a pilot for them and it got picked up. So now I have my own show, More to Advertising. And I'm always looking for guests. It's essentially a 10-minute quick interview focused on people just like you to talk about what you want to talk about, try to bring value to it. So I'm always looking for guests, and I thought that instead of kind of trying to bolster myself, let's see if we can, if anybody's interested to come on the show and bolster you all. So I just put my link to my LinkedIn, but also right below that is the link to dailyadbrief.com. So there's a scheduler at the top right-hand corner. I do it on Thursdays at the same time, but if you use the arrow, you can just go to a week that makes sense for you. And honestly, anybody from Trusted Referral Network is welcome to be on there and talk about whatever they want to talk about.
All right, cool. And Geoff, I'd like to promote that on the newsletter so that more people, at least those people that read my newsletter, I hope, even though some people don't read books anymore, they read my newsletter. Which is
my requirements is that you have to have some kind of concept to be able to talk about advertising and be a good person. Those are the two things. I don't want jerks on there and everything, and I want people that aren't going to go on there and talk about something that's not relevant, because the audience is really all media, advertising, marketing type individuals, entrepreneurs as well too. So as long as it's relevant, we can put a spin on it and everything. But yeah, I do that just simply to try to help other people out and get their message out there. And I just get a lot of dopamines out of that, and seeing people get a little bit of cool content that goes out to a few hundred or thousands of people.
There's a guy, were you on the meeting when Mohammed Siddiqui was here? He's a friend of Rajiv's. He does hyper-targeted OTT TV advertising.
Yeah, we do that too. So we have a strong foothold in programmatic with OTT, CTV, display, video pre-roll, digital audio, and everything. And I have some interesting things that I'll be rolling out. I'll share with you all as well too. But I just want to use this time to talk about the podcast, see if anybody wants to join it.
Thank you. I'm sure you will get lots of interest.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, cool. And I just recently introduced Geoff to somebody intending to do it only to that person, but I copied Geoff by mistake, but hopefully it'll be all.
I figure you're looking for my email and left me on the CC. So
exactly.
I just said hi, but let me know. So, but I appreciate the referral, Michael. That's very nice of you.
Exactly what happened. Okay. Jeff Linder. Next, Geoff. Geoff, are you there? Also an advertising guy on the creative side.
I thought I'd already clicked the unmute button, but I didn't. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I didn't click the button. Good to see you all. All these advertising people. I'm a refugee from the big advertising world of, I guess we call it Madison Avenue. I don't know if you know the agencies, everything from Mogilny and Mather, TBWA, Della Femina, J. Walter Thompson, Young, Rubicam, Doyle, Lane, Burnback. All of them, if you don't know those agencies, you probably know some of the brands I've worked on, Evian, Jell-O. Yes, I made commercials with Bill Cosby. No, we didn't know he was raping women. I worked on cars, VW, Audi, insurance, Aetna, Cigna. I worked on things like SOS soap pads, OTC pharma. We're doing a lot of OTC pharma at the moment. I've worked on wine and spirits. I drink wine and spirits also. I've worked on IBM and Xerox. things like Citibank, Standard and Poor's, all kinds of things, Wilson Sporting Goods. I founded Fresh Branding Group in 2007. I kind of pinched myself. It's holy moly, that's 15 freaking years had that happen. Right now, Fresh Branding Group is not like most of the other agencies that you are seeing here in all your networking groups, and most of the people you purposely did not go in the direction of digital. And I guess if I had decided in 2007 we're going to be a digital agency, I'd probably be a lot wealthier now, because just everyone wants to do digital. But Fresh Branding Group is a TV agency. It's a TV agency. Now, in case any of you are not aware, TV agencies, advertising agencies, do not produce advertising. We create the ideas, we create the scripts and come up with the ideas for what it's going to look like, and we hire production companies that we feel are the most appropriate for our TV concept. So that's what we do. And yes, we have internally, we do our own strategic work with our clients. You can't do this unless you have a clear and very solid and very clear and very simple strategy. So that's Fresh Branding Group. One of these days, Michael, I'm going to have to show a reel. So that,
yeah, absolutely. Well, just sign up for a presentation.
Everyone would love it. You get to go to a networking group. You get to watch TV.
Exactly. You know where the sign up is, right? For a showcase.
I'll go on the website. They'll find it.
Absolutely. So it's under events, under the, I think it's the events menu. There's one of the,
okay.
It's sign up for a showcase. Okay. Right. That was Geoff. Joan Abraham. You're up.
I come from the fashion industry. And in 1996, I realized the value of e-commerce and that it wasn't going to go away. And from the very beginning, started to develop content because I used to produce fashion shows. I was lucky enough to do 2 shows for the Oprah Winfrey Show in 1984 and realized that it was interactive and we were trying to get retailers to advertise on television. I've started a couple of major media companies, so I drifted into the advertising world. We put video walls in shopping centers across the country and created gorgeous fashion programming with the top fashion talent in New York that promoted the different merchandise segments and retailers in the mall and took commercials. Our difference from commercials, and most of you who have spoken, is number one, we focus completely on the entertainment rather than the sell, yet it's a very powerful sell. We have just created, 6 years ago, I created a product that I call VidBits, and they're 20 to 45 seconds. They tell a story about characters that would use the products, but we never mention the product. And in the 20 to 40 seconds that we're telling the story through bubbles, you see the product hand animated by a recognized artist in New York. And then at the end of the story, it gives the website link directly to the product, not just the website itself, but directly to the product. So as far as I can see, what we're doing is completely unique. It's all original content. I've just developed a business model. I was trying to sell to retailers and manufacturers and real estate developers, anybody who had a lifestyle product that wanted to have something engaging daily on their social channels. The other element that makes us unique is that we can produce 10 VidBits for $12,000, which is violently against the...
Could you put your link to some VidBit examples? I just want to continue on because we have only a few more minutes.
Sure.
You've had your chat in the chat, but I've seen them. They're really compelling. So I encourage.
Oh, thank you. We just started working with an investment accelerator to raise some money so we can set up our own network, and clients buy into our network like they would buy into a radio show or a TV show. So they just They have nothing to do with the creative content, and we can tell our stories the way they, anyway, I will be happy to. And I would love to make a presentation sometime because.
All right. You just got to join, become a member.
Strongly.
So to join, to become a member, you just have to add you reach out to me and I'll take you through it. You just have to add a listing. Marko Pavicic. Is it Pavicic or Pava? You have to explain. Marko, you here?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, first one. Hi guys, great to be here. Thanks for all presentations. I really enjoyed it. So I'm right now based in Croatia, but I originally live in Holland. So I would say, quite well present in Europe. So shortly what we do, what we have realized through COVID is I'm owner of consulting agency where we help especially software agencies, service-based businesses, coaches, consultants between 11 to 150 employees, 1 million plus in revenue with achieving sustainable business growth. In essence, that would mean that, as you know, one day you have enough clients, then you need to hire employees. If you're not consistent with making connections and building system around it, at some point you cannot grow with sustainability. So this is, I would say, the biggest pain point that we are resolving right now. Secret sauce of our work is my neuroscience background, because I did 1,300,000 connections so far. So at some point I started to notice patterns in terms of predicting patterns in compatibility of social interactions. So we applied this methodology through LinkedIn and CRM tools, everything done personalized for every client. In terms of services, it's similar like with Daniel and Dave in terms of sales outsourcing, lead generation, hiring, recruiting. In terms of contacts, I require, like I mentioned, software agencies, advertising agencies, tech startups, 11 plus employees, 1 million plus in revenue. In terms of what I can bring to the table, Michael knows I work from Australia to US, so I have pretty global network of contacts in tech sector, especially enterprise levels. So if we connect one-on-one, my first step would be seeing my network and referring you to somebody I know, because I'm a LinkedIn guy. So this is the way how I add value, and I strongly believe in reciprocity. So looking forward to catching up and seeing to whom I can refer you to. Thanks.
Thank you. And I learned that there's a lot of C's in the Slavic languages, not Slavic languages, languages, and some of those C's are CHs. You just have to have the accent. Yeah. So I'm not. So it's maybe Pavicic or Pavicic or Pavicic.
First one, Pavicic.
Pavicic. Pavicic. So it's got both accents. Okay.
Thank you.
Moving on. Second to last but not least, Ari Rosenberg.
Thanks, Michael. And sorry for coming late. Mike, don't they teach Slavic languages at Booz Allen? Isn't that something that you should be aware of?
Yeah, I should be.
So I only have a few minutes until I have a hard stop. Thanks for having me today. Just tell you a bit shortly about the agency that I represent, Doctors Internet. We primarily do marketing, web design, SEO, paid advertising for physicians, dentists, any local practitioners, and we've been around for about a dozen years. We were one of the first to do what we do. We're very well known in the industry, and we're constantly looking for partners or consultants or anybody in business development or marketing to utilize our services to increase stickiness with them, so that for any practitioners, they can offer our services. We usually do annual contracts. The average monthly payment to us is about $400 to $500 a month, so it's pretty low. And then we do paid advertising, so that can, of course, go much higher. And that's about it, keeping it simple. Happy to connect with anybody here. I've already, in the last 40 minutes, scheduled a couple calls with a few of you. Let's keep going. I'm happy to consult and give free advice in healthcare as much as I can, and just connect generally.
There's a woman who was on last week who I think is going to join, who specializes in, I think it's Wendy Austin, in healthcare.
Oh, perfect.
So you may be a good connection for her. Probably some co-opetition, so to speak. Okay. I didn't miss anybody, right?
No.
All right. Then I will give myself 2 minutes. My name is Michael Bendit. And my core business, besides running the Trusted Referral Network, is selling software development services. So I represent a dozen teams. We do a lot of work in the marketing space. I would say about 60% of our work is in marketing. And a lot of that marketing work is through relationships with digital agencies who happen to be my best clients. So building those relationships with agencies who, as part of their work, they oftentimes need to build, fix, optimize websites, but they're not really technical companies. So this is oftentimes relegated to, one or two people they have on staff, programmers, who might be very talented, but are often overwhelmed by the work that they have, or maybe asked to do something they just don't have any experience with, because there's lots of different platforms out there. Everybody's got a different level of expertise with the technical stuff. And so a lot of times they just don't have the depth. So would love to meet any digital agencies that focus on not just building websites, but a broader range of services that need extra support. The other thing that differentiates us is that a lot of my teams are offshore or dual shore teams, so that we can come in at a price where the client can mark it up to a US or North American client. I'm not exactly sure what the markups are, but I guess that it's probably 100% or so. So if we sell a website for 5,000, they're selling it to their client at 10,000. So it's a nice upgrade, and they don't have to worry about all of those details. My teams do the project management, account management, the whole bit. So I'm glad you were all able to make it today. Now's a great time to go to the chat menu, open up the chat window and click on the three buttons on the bottom right. First, the first menu item is Save Chat. That will download the chat for you so that anybody who's put their link in will be there. I encourage folks on this call to connect with other folks. That's what it's all about. This is really just a way to meet some people so that you can see who would be good to follow up with and connect with on a one-on-one for a half hour or an hour. For those guests, if you're interested in membership, please reach out to me, and we'll see what we can do to get you as a member.
I'm definitely interested in a membership after
all right,
this
Joan.
call.
Let's have a call. I'll just email me and we'll set something up.
Sure.
Thank you all, and have a wonderful Wednesday.
Bye, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Cheers.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.